All right, we're back. I know there's a delay, and now I'm just checking to see how long the delay goes. And what that delay is looking like, since we're just testing out a couple of systems and things. Hopefully you all can bear with us, check it out, see how it's going. This is a pretty good opportunity to really explore and learn the difference of when you're going live and trying out new systems, the importance of really making sure that you give yourself a chance to, for lack of better words, learn how to use your systems before you jump out here and launch massive things. Doing these test runs is like literally going to make a huge difference in what it is you're doing and how you're going about doing it. Not sure if everybody got a chance to jump on from the other different areas where you can access this live, but I mean, again, we're trying it out, we're seeing how it's going, we're checking out new things and just really exploring, is it working, is it not working, what's it look like, how can we go about it, and start to get in the space of being able to use these systems more effectively, while one, we're learning a little bit more about me, and two, we're actively taking a chance to see how you all are doing out there, see what you need, what you're looking for, what you like. those types of lovely questions and things. With that being said, I'm fully aware there's quite a few different systems, and I've definitely got some different screens and stuff up. So again, just kind of checking out how and where things are going. If you can hear me, see me, any of that, please just put some ones in the chat boxes so I have an idea of where you might be streaming in from, so I can also be checking kind of what's working and what's not working. Again, we're testing it out, we're going for it, so let me know if you all are seeing this or hearing this. And if you're not, that's cool. But yeah, we're checking it out. We're seeing how things are going. I don't know if anybody else is out there in the world and if it's working for y'all, but like I said, wanted to jump on here, say hey, see how people are doing, give y'all a chance to get to know me a little more. I can get to know what you all are looking for, and we can be doing this on purpose. Let's see, let me add a title so we can see if we can get the Instagram going too. In the interim, how are you guys doing? What's it like out there for you? Not seeing anyone on the Zoom, so that's one location we're checking out. Anybody's on LinkedIn, if anybody's on Facebook, if you're just where you're at, what you doing, what's it like, is it working, are we not working? Like I said, drop anything in the chat, pick an emoji, just something so we know that you are out there. Hopefully, like I said, some of these are starting to stream and work. We'll definitely know by the end if it's happening. We're going to even try to add an extra one. If you can see me on here on LinkedIn, by all means, please let me know. If you are on Facebook, go ahead and tap in here and, like I said, put some little emojis or drop some things out there, and let me know you can see me. Let me know what's going on. Where you from? Where you at? What you doing? Bring out some songs. Like I said, we're testing things out. So that way, as we bring you more opportunities to have live workshops and things, that we're showing up in the places that you really need us to be at, so you can see what's happening and where it's coming from. Like I said, and any info and support and help is totally appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and hit start on another one. We'll see if that one is also working. I think there may be a way also for Crystal, if you're out there, if you can maybe even our back office just check out and see, like, I don't know if you're able to monitor what's happening in the background or for the chats or finding the people. Like I said, hopefully you guys are having a pretty awesome Saturday. You are able to see me. If not, yay! Okay, so it is working over here on Facebook. Cool, 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 cool. That means that's one location. Woohoo! Let's see, can we get some more from the other ones? And can we start rolling out with some questions? So I guess I'm just going to go ahead and just start sharing information. So if you are on one of these streams, even better. If you are not, then I suppose I won't necessarily know because I can't see that you are or aren't. With that being said, my name is Dr. Z Gross, also known as Dr. Z. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I am a trauma-informed yoga instructor, and I am a time management coach. So what I do is, hey, wave out here to folks in the IG land. What I do and who I like to do it for is I provide psychotherapy services, and I realize for all the years that I've been doing that, I don't tend to share that very often, which is crazy. It's like, how do you do something and that's the primary thing you do, and then you hardly ever talk about it? Well, we've been starting to move into a space where when that was pointed out to me for the things that people are aware of on social media and visibly, it's probably a good time to start showing and sharing different things about myself, who I am, how I came to be, and giving all of you lovely folks an opportunity to actually get to know me a little bit more. Most of the time we know people, but we don't know them. We only know what they're showing, like on social media. We only know what they're showing when we're scrolling through, but you never get to find out, like, how did somebody even get to this place? So for instance, why did I ever become a therapist? Well, super long story, but because we're not going to make it excessively long, but make sure you totally can get some insight. There was a point in time where I was working in the mortgage industry. So first of all, let's start with, I've had a lot of different experiences in a lot of different industries, and I really enjoyed being in all of them. From that, a lot of the info that I share, whether it's free content, paid processes or programs, it usually is coming from different experiences I've had in different industries, and then putting it all together, and then making sure that in the midst of putting it all together, that I'm finding the most consistent stream-like ways to have all the things make sense and enhance each of the different things or areas that I'm working in. So whether I'm working with a client one-on-one, whether I'm working with a group, if I'm at an organization, I'm always looking at how can I take all of the experiences that have really come to make me me and put it into what I'm currently doing, so I can keep continuously putting out there things that are going to be useful and supportive to folks. So with that being said, a long time ago, I was actually in the military. So needless to say, I'm a veteran, actually a retired veteran, and learning how to put together systems while in the military and following guidelines for how it was set up and structured started to set me off in a place, after having been a personal assistant for a couple of folks before that, into looking at how can I do that on purpose? How can I do it in more locations and areas at once? And how can I do it in the best version of me and how I show up so that it does make the most sense? What that looks like is, when I was in the military, a little, private. I got a couple of ranks in there before I got out. I did a lot of work with actually putting together the SOPs. So these are standard operating, oh my gosh, standard operating procedures. Lots of folks use everyone uses standard operating procedures. They may be called your handbooks, your manuals, the way you do different things, but every agency and organization has standard operating procedures. Now, whether or not you're privy to them and or you know how to use them is a whole nother story. With that being said, I started looking at and being able to have the opportunity to see bigger picture opportunities and looking at how can I do that on purpose? How can I start to create systems that will allow us to cut out the redundancy of work, to have a clear picture on what it even looks like to be able to do the work, and needless to say, support it like the commanders and the folks that I work with in the military. Moving forward from there, when I came back from the military, I went back to an old job where I used to be at, went back into a management position. So continuously still working with people. At a certain point, I decided I wanted to jump into a different field that made more sense. So I explored real estate because everyone talks about real estate, you got to be in there. So needless to say, I learned a lot about selling houses, buying houses, refinancing loans, impacting and manipulating credit scores to get things that you need so that you can actually do what you want to do with your money or other people's money, which is a very major key component in real estate. How do you use other people's money so you can do certain things with it? While we're not going to necessarily talk about that here, these are just some of the steps and places of how I got to where I am this moment and what it looks like and how I've been using it since. So while I was in school, so working in real estate, I kind of continued there. I was supporting the loan officer that I was working with. It was a pretty great opportunity. I was with a couple of two actually different companies. And then I finally finished my bachelor's degree and, got those additional credits. And thank goodness for the military gave me like all the extra elective credits. So I didn't have to spend too many more years to do so. As soon as I finished that, my job ended in the real estate industry. If you know me, I have always historically been able to get lots of jobs. Like, you want to know if I got a job going? Like, yes, I can get some jobs. It's like not hard at all. So went out, started getting some more jobs, and I figured this is a good time to look at, do I keep doing what I have been doing, or do I now start to look at, oh, I see someone does have a question over on YouTube. What, let's see, how can I get to what your question might be as I'm still continuing this lovely little story? But I started the transition and looking at how do I move forward from here? How do I get into my field and start doing the work that that I want to do, which is helping people, which moved me towards being able to start doing therapy work. Let me see if I can get to this question. I'm still looking at how do I get back there? Maybe Crystal, you might be able to help me out with that and just drop it in an area where I can see it. So we got a question from Mr. Tyrone Williams. I don't know if you're still there. If you are, by all means, either Crystal, Tyrone, either one of you two, go ahead and drop that question while I still float back to how do I actually get access to the info so I can answer it. Comments, maybe that might be how I can most get there since we're still going and rolling. I said, thank you guys for even being here. Like I'm working out how to do this. I'm learning how to navigate these different systems. So I appreciate your patience. I thank you for holding on and waiting with me as we're in this story and doing these things. And yeah, of course, real life, a kid might walk by here or there. I guess in this moment, I can't quite get back to how to get to the questions so that I can answer it in this moment. So back to that realization, I needed a new job. I need to start doing stuff in my field. If I want to be a therapist or help people in any kind of capacity or even consider teaching still, I needed to start working with the people I wanted to work with, which were kids at that point in time. So in working with kids, I started becoming like a one-on-one behavioral aid. And in the midst of doing that, I was able to start working with children that were on the spectrum and being able to provide them with support so they can access things like school, build social skills, learn how to ask for their needs, actually being able to play with other folks. It was kind of cool, the work that I was doing with them and the people that I got a chance to meet. And I don't know, Crystal, if that ever came back or made a difference or not, or if we're just where we're at with it at this point in time. And maybe I don't have the opportunity to answer the question. Okay, well, I guess that question didn't come up, so we'll keep it going. Thanks to my handy dandy lovely assistant who has been, oh my gosh, you have no idea. I accidentally mess stuff up all the time. This is how I learn new stuff, but somebody else has to help fix it. With that being said, moved into a space of looking for new jobs, started working with kids as a one-to-one aide, learned a whole bunch about applied behavioral analysis while I pursued my master's degree. At that point in time, mother of one. I don't remember how old my daughter was at that point in time, but pursuing my master's so I can become a licensed marriage and family therapist. While I was doing that, there was a part of me that for a period in time was like, well, maybe I might also consider teaching because I really like math. I really love numbers. So I was thinking maybe this is a really good time to consider pursuing becoming a math teacher. Now, while I may have, thanks for the comments. I appreciate it. So glad that like something's working somewhere. It's pretty awesome. While I was finishing that master's degree, I said I worked for an agency that provided ABA services. I learned a lot more about that. And my heart was already open to people that may be on the spectrum, have intellectual disabilities, just various different types of things that don't typically allow folks to address and acknowledge the human beings as being human because they're not showing up the same way that everyone else is supposedly showing up. My younger sister had intellectual disability, so I was always around that community and like understood what special needs and just different types of disorders were. So it made it easier for me to naturally, of course, gravitate towards why wouldn't I help the people that I already have a warm spot in my heart for anyways. So doing that work for a couple of years, finishing off my degree and realizing because I took such a pay cut, and that's the part that like people usually don't want to do or think about. And I don't want to say it's horrible to get a good job and make a lot of money, but if you get a great job and you make a lot of money, it makes it a little bit harder to transition into a field if you believe you have to make less money in order to learn and get the experience you need. I say that to say that's definitely a belief that can be busted, but I was like, oh, I can't make a lot of money because I'm helping people and that's the only way to do things right. I don't believe that. That's not true. I hope that you will get an opportunity to start to learn and know that too as we kind of continue this journey. But took the pay cut. Needless to say, being a single mom with that pay cut, life started to get a little bit different. So at a certain point, I think it was right about when my oldest daughter was about to start kindergarten or something like that, I transitioned to like the school district and was working as a one-to-one aide there. So I worked at the school where she was at, which was pretty cool because I got to drop her off at school at a certain point in time. It also probably added some extra stuff. Bless her heart. I think I've always worked at one of her schools at some point in my life for different reasons that may or may not have supported both of us. And what ended up happening is, I think at some point, like the bills were starting to get different. It was starting to hit real different. I reached out for my own therapy, trying to get help, had horrible experiences. So I understand from personal experience what it's like to reach out for a therapist, believe you're going to get help, and experience them not getting it and just not understanding. And then you having to figure out, so this is the field I want to go into. And this is the reason why people have the feelings they feel. Needless to say, people of color make a significant difference in this field, and people that have a heart and start to learn and understand who they most like to support and provide services for will cut out that provider having a horrible experience, as well as the people that are receiving the services. moving right along, I came across, and I'm not sure how it went, but I started applying for jobs. And again, it's nothing for me to get a new job. But at this point, I was like, I need to get back to the money I was making before and more. Came across, because of my experience with the population that I was working with, and ended up becoming a group home administrator. That was definitely a significantly different experience of being responsible for 2 level 14 homes. I don't even know if they still do that in the systems, but the children that were there were children that were on, they had regional center services. So depending on where you're at may determine like what those services might be called in the locations where you are. But out here in California, if you have regional center, there's like, I don't know, I think it's like 7 or something like that, or 21, and maybe there's 7 literally just in SoCal themselves. They are an agency that provides additional support to families that have children and or adults that need additional support and services to be able to navigate and negotiate life as close to or similar to other folks in the world. The children at the homes where I was at were at the highest level of group homes that you could possibly be at before being in a hospital, which I want to say around that time they were starting to disband them and not having mental institutes, and we're looking for how can we put people into locations that are more similar or close to being in a home environment. So I had 2 level 14 6-bed homes, children all the age from 6, I believe, up to, they couldn't be there past 22. That was about the age where it's like, okay, we have to look at finding them an adult home or something like that. And also one specialized adult facility. You learn so much stuff and how to work so hand in hand with the people that you work with, that my experience of building teams while also being in a master's program that require lots of group programs just continue to kind of form and shape how to complete and make SOPs for life, how to work with people and give them what they need so they give you what you need so you all are able to do the job you signed up for and then go home at night and then be with your family and live and be cool. Some of those missing keys were still about like how much money you do or don't make, and those beliefs were definitely limiting me. If you've ever been in one of my coaching programs or want to join, we do discuss limiting beliefs. We discuss your relationships with money. We talk about what that looks like and why and how it impacts you and the choices you make. Moving right along, I finally was getting it. And it was about a year after being in that job. I was getting it. I was understanding. And I think I was like really close to finishing out my master's degree. So it was time to start doing practicum work. So I needed to actually start doing therapy. I still kind of had this itsy little space where I was like, I still might go be a math teacher. Took the CSET test and realized there was a whole bunch more for math specifically and was like, I love it. I just have to share math in a different kind of way, put some numbers to life. Hence, I feel like if you can look at numbers in therapy, you can better help somebody determine if they're able to reach a certain stage in progress. Moving right along, I had a couple of opportunities to go work at places. And of course, it's not of course, but I thought you could only work somewhere that you would not be paid for. So I've cut my hours at that current job, which meant I had to work longer, even though if you've ever worked in a group home and been a group home administrator, you are pretty much on 24/7. So the level of like heightened response and like, I guess, acceptance of trauma just became pretty regular and basic for me, aside from whatever might have been happening in my personal life. Started seeing kids and doing therapy with children at schools out in Los Angeles County and loved it. At one point, I had one of the students at one of my group homes, I happened to go to their school because they were at a non-public day school, how life continues to take you where you're supposed to go if you're listening and pay attention. And I ended up meeting their therapist and they were like, oh, I'm leaving in a week. You should apply. And I was like, okay, why wouldn't I want to get paid to provide therapy? So applied, got the job. The level of stress that was happening at the group home, I again had to take another freaking pay cut. I am bringing this up because there are different ideals and things that we hold for ourselves in regards to how much money we are willing to accept or things that we're willing to explore to meet our needs, our actual needs, based on, of course, our spending habits and things that we've made a part of our reality. So I applied. Of course, I got the job because I can get a job. It's nothing. I get the job and I'm like, oh shoot, how can I do both? And had to make that transition and set up like what's having, enough time for someone else to be able to come in and start working at the start working as the administrator for those group homes, so that I didn't leave the entire agency and the children that were in those homes and the adults in a position where they weren't able to get their needs met because I left, or that they would have to literally move out because there wasn't an administrator that was qualified to do it. FYI, it is not as effortless to become a group home administrator for children. Just putting it out there. But if you do and you like it and you really like helping in that capacity, there's definitely lots of money to be made and folks that will be more than willing to help you get along in that path. Feel free to pick my brain about it anytime. Transition, finally started doing therapy, loved it, worked with kids for who knows from that point forward. That's pretty much how that went. Finished my hours so that I could graduate with my master's. Got my master's, was pregnant when I finished my master's because now I was working on baby number 2. Of course, me being me, I was like, I have to get a doctorate degree. So I started working on that next degree, continued to do therapy after I had my daughter, my second daughter, and got to a point where I finally got burnt out. Took a good 8, 9, 10 years because, again, I was working on a degree. I was trying to get licensed. I was trying to do a bunch of stuff all at once, unsuccessfully, and consistently trying to do it and believing something was going to be different every single time, and it was not. At some point, I had to finally stop and look at, what does your SOP look like for your life? Are you actually working with one? Are you doing it consistently? How can you start to shift and do it better on purpose? Fast forward, I finally made a commitment, like when I'm at work, I'm going to be at work. When I'm at home, I'm going to be at home. When it's time to study, that's what I'm doing. Mind you, I started adding more and more jobs, of course, to my lovely portfolio of how many things I can do. And with that, I finally was able to focus. When I showed up and was present with where I was able to do the things that made sense. As I moved to the next location and made that transition, I was able to do what needed to happen. Studied some different courses aside from my doctorate degree, like specifically on being able to hold conversations on racism. Decided I needed to be a security guard at the club. So in that way, I would not keep spending all my money at the club because I would just be making money. That was fun. Still working with the kids at the school, doing therapy and or being out in the field, and decided, well, now, of course, I have to learn yoga and I have to learn all these other healing modalities because I have to know everything. Mindset shift. As of today, I don't need to know everything, but I need to know everything that makes sense for the one thing that I would most like to do and help the group of people that I most want to work with. And then I can explore other things as I've built a space to be able to do that consistently. Continuing on, because of course, we're not even up to today yet. At some point, I had to start facing my ideals and mindsets about money. I had to start facing my ideas about what I physically look like. I had to start doing stuff that was going to make a difference. And what is it that I want to accomplish? How do I want to go about it? What do I want it to look like? And when am I going to do something different? By the time I got to this space, I'm just going to tell you right now, I was significantly overweight. I literally was experiencing depression, anxiety, and all those different things all at once. And still trying to raise 2 kids and pay all my bills, and ended up with a dog, decided to buy a new house to try to impress people, bought a new car to impress people. I don't know if you're hearing this pattern. There's a whole lot of stuff that kept happening because I was attempting to impress people that were not the people I needed to be doing that for. With that being said, some point you have to decide that you're important enough and that you're worth investing in, so that you can intentionally start spending your money, your time, your resources, your attention in the places that are going to provide you the opportunity to really show up. Hey, see some more folks joining in on some different sites. So Now that we're kind of caught up to how I started exploring, looking at shifting my mind and realizing like, okay, what do I think about money? Why do I think that? Does it work for me? Do I have any examples of how it has worked if I keep that mentality? No. So it was time to make a difference. If you have money, believe it or not, you can do a whole lot more things than just keep giving up all your time. If you love what you're doing and you've created a lifestyle that you can afford on the money you make, then you're doing swimmingly. Like, you're winning. If you didn't, guess what? This is a great time to go ahead and make some shifts and do something else. Give yourself the opportunity to start investing in you so that you can get to a space where what you're doing makes sense for you. It feels good on the inside. The things that are easy and effortless, you can do them repeatedly and be compensated for it, knowing that you're actually helping other folks at the same time. With that, at this point, this is why for all the different certifications that I kept getting and kept going to school, because I was like, I just need more knowledge before I just need more of this before I can. And I don't know if you have been there or done that, but what you start to learn is you don't actually need more, but you do need to do something. Started doing stuff, hence started coaching, had a yoga studio, learn that real quick. Like, don't do stuff unless you have the money for it. Again, things come back to money almost every time. Money and time. You don't have money and you don't have time. I'm not quite sure what it is you're looking to do, but if you don't give yourself permission to invest in yourself, you're never going to have the time that you think you want anyways. If you don't look at how you can improve and level up from where you're at, you're never going to be able to do the things that you say you want to do. And despite thinking, oh, I paid all this money for a degree. Guess what? Me too. And it wasn't until I started investing in myself that things shifted. That level of anxiety and depression that was a nasty little loop and cycle was absolutely like started from various different traumas behind lack, poverty mindsets, different things along those lines. But at the moment that I decided something needed to be different, I figured out how to find the money and the time to do something different so that I could have a different experience instead of continuing to do the same things over and over. Whew. Today, I currently offer a whole life coaching program that I like to work with folks that are in the mental health field, even more specifically therapists, because I want them to be able to have the opportunity to have a work-life balance that affords them the chance to be able to help people achieve the goals that they're looking for them to be able to have the opportunity to make money and believe that money is available for them to make. You don't have to do what everyone else does, but you can look to explore, well, if I don't, who out there can help me? Probably me. And if not, I have a huge network of folks that definitely could help you in other ways so that you can start doing things that are more in alignment with your heart, that allow you the space to have your body, your mind, and your whole self be doing things that are supportive to what you'd like to create in the world. I'm not sure if anybody that's still out there might have some questions, thoughts, or concerns about that, but I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that anyone has. I'm definitely going to be offering some more opportunities and things for people to do and explore. Free items, some things that are not free. If you are a licensed therapist or you're about to be licensed, I actually partner with one of my coaches because she has a program that's pretty phenomenal that definitely helped me out a lot in regards to my private practice and gives you the foundation of how to make it make sense. Right now, she's got a free boot camp going. So if you haven't, by all means, like, click on my links at greaterself.org/hello and check out the different opportunities you could log into, because there might be something there for you that would be super supportive and helpful. If you're not a therapist, but you are somehow in a helping field, that's that my coaching program helps people go ahead and identify, what have I been doing? Do I want to keep doing it that way? If it's getting me to where I want to get to, then great. If it's not, what can I start shifting and changing within my mindset, within how I'm using my resources, how I'm spending my time, how I'm spending my money, and the things that I'm investing in, which will allow me to improve and continue to grow as a person, as whatever role you're in, so that you do have the opportunity to start showing up in the version and the form of you physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, spiritually, like all of them. But you can get that foundation and start that process of working so you can have what it is you're looking for. I think it's kind of all I want to put out there for now. I know I'll definitely be adding a premium service very, very, very soon that I'll be reaching out, and I'll totally be putting it on my platforms to ask people who might want to volunteer to try a new process. It's called MBS, and I kind of pitched it to a couple of folks in my community, but it would be, instead of directly doing psychotherapy, which I am more than happy to help people with, I do accept cash. So cash paying clients are always nice. My rates are set. Every once in a while, I have a little space or a possibility to offer a reduced rate when and if it makes sense. Hey, see some more people joining in, but if that's not what you're looking for, I'm looking at having, and this is a signature thing that I would like to offer to the world to help, an MBS session, which would be a mind, body, self, technically reclamation session. What that would look like is not psychotherapy. It's combining all the different components that make up a whole person. So maybe it's a whole life session. I don't know. Still looking for the name. That might be a contest. Of putting some mindset shifting work in and some body movement. So since I teach yoga, of course, we're going to be incorporating that to seal in what you're doing with your body, and then have a guided meditation at the end to kind of close it out. So that way you come in, you get some shifts on what you're doing with your mind. You have the opportunity to move your body in a way that's supportive of it. And then you can even close it out with a guided meditation that you can take with you and keep for that next week, or however much time until we meet again. So again, you're getting a jump start on what it is you want to be doing in life. You're not coming because you feel like, oh, I need therapy because I want to heal some traumas. I want to work on how to decrease my anxiety. I want to build more confidence and self-esteem so I don't feel sad and depressed. Those are things that we can work on absolutely in psychotherapy. Different aspect. If you want to do coaching, this is another session that I am looking at starting in the near future, and we'll totally be asking folks like, do you feel like you're kind of in a good space, but you want to boost, you want something else to be a little bit different? You might be a great candidate for my beta, which I can tell you the price of having all those in one session at one time. It's what you're gaining and what you're getting. You don't have to go sign up for various different programs and things. You're getting an opportunity to truly do what's going to be supportive at one time. Take it out, use it, and be cool with it. And you may only need to meet a couple of times. And with that, you're gaining more value and more knowledge of how to do you on purpose. And it isn't tainted by anything else or a stigma or a stereotype. It's, what do we need to do that's going to be good for you and what you got going on? And that's what we do. I don't know if anybody else had any questions or anything else come in anywhere. I know there will be a wait list available for the next coaching cohort that'll probably be releasing soon. And I'm totally exploring being able to offer an opportunity for all the helpers that help other people in whatever field you're in to have the experience of a virtual and or live in-person retreat. And I'll totally be asking you guys about how you feel about it and if you're interested at a later time. But I think at this point, I don't really have too many other things I wanted to share. Like I said, an opportunity for therapists that are ready to maybe start a private practice and want some information on it. I got the plug. Hit me up, send me a message, send me an email, text, DM, whatever. I got you, so I can get you set up so you can make that happen. If you are in a space where maybe you're not about to be licensed yet, you're just starting your career, you've got a couple of questions, you don't know how to make that next transition, I can help support. I directly can help support you in setting a foundation that you can start to make those types of choices and decisions from that will be supportive for what it is you're looking for. Let's see. And if you were interested in checking out that beta process, there will totally be an opportunity to sign up for that and look out for it. I know we've got a lot of work going on over here in the background, but just wanted to at least be able to share some of the things that are currently happening and give you all an opportunity to get to know a little bit more about me. And like I said, ask some questions if you have any. Um, see if I can check out the different platforms again and answer any of those. Anybody's got anything? And guess I'll kind of leave it there. Oh, I need help with finding a foundation. Okay, cool. I would say for sure, I'll reach out to you. I won't even make you have to reach out to me. I'll reach out to you and we can set up a consultation so that we can discuss what that might look like and how I may be able to help you with it. When you do say foundation, is there any particular thing that maybe you're looking for in regards to a foundation, like a foundation for you or a foundation that you can do to help other people do some things? Like what might you mean? And again, we can totally just have a private consultation so that we can explore that a little bit more too. And if you guys have any more thoughts, ideas, and questions, by all means, feel free to drop them in the comments. Feel free to send me a message directly. You can email, you can text if you got the number, you can, do whatever allows you to get those needs met. And if you shared anything, then totally be reaching out to you. Also hoping that you guys do something kind and gentle for yourself this weekend, just to kind of recover, relax, rejuvenate, and kind of go from there. With that, I really want to thank you all for being a part of me testing out my system and hearing a little bit about my story. I think at this point, that's probably going to do it. I believe I will be seeing y'all in the later. So I will close it out on Instagram first, and then we will go ahead and close out the other lovely streaming places. Again, I hope you guys have an amazing Saturday. You have a good weekend. You're able to recover, maybe even set up some different things that you'd like to be doing, and give yourself a chance to invest in you, bet on you, let you be the person that's winning. All right. Well, thank you again for your time, your attention. And this is Dr. Z, your greater self-whole life coach.